Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a guitar lesson for you, and this is how to play the Gravity solo off of John Mayer's Continuum album. Now this is the studio version, and it's a relatively easy solo to play if you're playing it note for note, but there are so many subtle things that make it really kind of a difficult solo to play and to nail every single time. There's a lot of tempo type of things, these little motifs that are repeated, but also like when the strings are picked, the tones, everything kind of goes into just making this a really iconic and memorable solo. So I'm gonna take you through how I hear this solo being played. I used an app called Moises. I'll link it in the description box below, but I was able to take the studio album track and then extract all the separate tracks and then isolate the actual solo, so I'm really listening to all the subtle things. So I'm going to change the camera angle and let's get to it. All right, so the Gravity solo off Continuum. Like I was saying, this solo is really kind of difficult to nail down, and something I did was I use Moises. It's an app that you can use either on your desktop or you can use on your phone, and you can extract different tracks of a song using AI. And I was able to isolate just the solo for this song, and there's some really subtle things that I want to share with you, just in case you are a John Mayer freak like me and want to nail down every little detail. So the solo itself it's like easy note for note. So let's just go through this first. We'll stay on neck pickup because in the Black One Fender Custom Shop video that's on YouTube, he said it was on the neck pickup, and that sounds right. And I'll show you how to dial in some of those tones in a little bit. But starting off, we're going to be right here. And what I want you to really focus on is when you pick. Now, it really does sound like he's using the pick for this particular solo. Sometimes live he doesn't, he uses fingers, but you can hear that little chirp of the pick. So first part. So you are hammering on, and then you are going all the way up to this 15th fret right here, the D. And then when you're sliding down, I would suggest probably upstroke. He tends to do a lot of upstrokes, I've been noticing, especially on single note type stuff. I don't know if it's something in the tone of the pick, but you're gonna get a little bit of chirp going on. But make sure that you really slide down there. So you're picking what, twice? Yeah, so don't forget to just pick twice. Sometimes people go, which is not wrong, right? We can play it however we want, but I'm just trying to nail down the subtle nuances of this solo, okay? And then we're gonna be climbing up to this E when it goes to the 4 chord, the C. So really this solo is about outlining the chords. So we're outlining the B and the D of the G chord, which is the 1. And then we're outlining the E and then the G, which are some major tonalities of the C chord. So again, now something really noticeable in the recording is times when he's picking hard and then when he's trying to kind of trail off and get maybe a little bit more quiet. And that's kind of when he's dropping down to this G. So you probably heard the last pick right there was really kind of subtle. This is kind of a swinging type of feel for this this type of solo, but there's so much feel to it. Next part, so we're at. So you can really hear the pick chirp on these. So I'm gonna suggest you alternate pick all this. And then the last part is something he mentioned in a video a long time ago. Maybe it was on Instagram. I don't know where exactly it was, but it's this call and response thing that he's doing. I feel like that's kind of the whole point of this solo, is that call and response. So after this first little motif, he's repeating it again, but it's really, it's straight. Sometimes people tend to swing it, I think. And that part, if you listen to the isolated guitar solo, there's so much feel in just that part. He's not playing with the same dynamic range. It's really hard at first and then kind of trailing off. So like, so a lot of these accents going on. And then you kind of let a little time pass, and then you're doing this little half bend up here to the E, or the C. And then you are bending up to this E. And try to get really slinky with it. That's kind of what I suggest. Everything is really laid back for this, almost attacking it first and then kind of getting really slinky with it, if that makes any sense. So back to that little motif. And then we're gonna slide into this B right here. Now, this is something that I've always gone back and forth about, whether this whole solo's on the high E and B string, or if you add the G string in it. Live definitely uses the G. In that Black One Fender Custom Shop video, definitely uses the G, but we can also tell that he's kind of fumbling over this solo because that was recorded during battle studies and going back however many years, 4 years, something like that. It's hard to remember exactly, but there's not as much fullness going on, which makes me believe it's on the high E. So listen to these two versions. So pretty close. Just that's a little bit more full. Now let's go to this one. It feels not the same, but just in the same range frequency wise, which is kind of what I'm hearing when I listen back to the isolated track. Another thing that I've kind of grappled with is how you end it. I've seen a couple different ways. So this one, which is a straight pick at the G, sliding up to the D and ending on the C, which is the minor third of that A minor, which is leading you back into the, what would we call it, the pre-chorus or the chorus of the song. But if you listen closely, it's almost like he's hammering on and sliding up. So that's why I played it like this in the intro of this video. But play it however you want. I'm hearing just, there's something going on there that leads me to believe that that is it. So again, very much a feel type of solo. I'm sure it was constructed in a way that maybe a producer helped with that, or he was just really trying to get something super melodic so it didn't sound like he was soloing. Just kind of a ear break from the singing, but kind of extension of that as well. But hopefully that helps you to dial in your playing for this solo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to my desktop and I'm going to show you how I dialed in some of the tones for this solo. All right, so we are in Acts 3 edit right now for my fractal. That's kind of what I use exclusively on this channel. I'm really into the digital modeling thing, but try your best to adapt this to whatever gear that you have. Now for the solo, I'm hearing some mid-range coming from maybe a tube screamer. It doesn't strike me as a blues breaker, but who knows what he used in the solo, in the studio. Definitely he said he used the black one, so obviously something like that, neck pickup. But here's the signal chain that I got. Now this is a special fractal preset available for FM3, FM9, Axe 3. It is a tone match of a real 2-rock traditional clean combo amp, which is essentially the topology of, or circuitry of, a John Mayer signature 2-rock amp, which we know that he still uses to this day. So here's what we got. Amp right here, set really clean. And then I do a lot of tweaking. So I change the tubes to something that he would probably be using. He changes tubes quite often. Running these 6L6 tubes, making sure that we're on the 2-rock speaker impedance. And then that is basically it. Now, something that I feel is the essence of Continuum is a really roomy type of sound. It's almost like you are in the room while it's being recorded, so probably some room mics going on. So as you can see here, I did use some room mic IR and blended it in. These two right here are the tone matches, mic'd with a 57 and a 160. When it says high, that means high wattage setting. These are ones that you could purchase on my website, johnconashiroguitar.com. And then adding a little bit more room here. So for the drive, we got the T808 OD, so the tube screamer. Here are the settings I have, which are not far off from what he would use typically. Here is kind of my makeup of an way huge Aquapus. It sounds like maybe there's a little bit of slapback chirp going on. Set to 90 milliseconds. Follow these settings here. Nothing really on the repeat. It's 0.8 just to make sure you hear it a tiny bit. And then go to EQ. I think I just dropped the highs down a little bit. And then let's go to the tremolo. Now, you can definitely hear the tremolo in this solo. I'm sure he keeps it on for the whole song. You definitely hear it on the rhythm part, but you can also hear it a lot on the solo. So I set it to the harmonic trem, which he used the Victoria reverberato quite a bit during this time. So harmonic trem, and really just adjusted the rate and the depth, and that's it. And then I got some spring reverb. I'm really digging this studio spring. I have a video on it on my channel. Kind of sounds like a lush spring reverb to me, but here are the settings I have. And then I definitely adjusted the diffusion here so it got a little less drippy, if that makes sense, because the traditional clean is kind of more ambient. And then I believe I just took out some highs. So let's go ahead and listen to this clean. Add the delay. You can hear that. The trem. And then let's add the drive in. All right, so there you go. Again, preset available on johnconcheroguitar.com. This setup in particular is not going to be sold, so if you are wanting to dial this in, main thing is adjusting the tube screamer, moving the delay in front, adding the tremolo, and then in the cab block, you want to make sure to add some sort of room mic IR, which I feel is really important. So once again, thank you for watching this video. It's really nerdy, but I hope it helps you in your journey if you are a John Mayer geek like I am. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, it helps it to grow, and we'll see you next time.